Right, on to the subject that a lot of people may find very frightening, because a senior NATO official has warned that there will be an all-out war with Russia within the next 20 years.
Yeah, Dutch naval officer Admiral Rob Bauer says that although the military alliance is preparing for conflict, civilians have got to brace themselves too.
Not everything is plannable, not everything is going to be honky-dory in the next 20 years. I'm not saying it is going wrong tomorrow, but we have to realize it's not a given that we are in peace. And that's why we have the plans.
That's why we have the plans, he said. We are now joined by defence editor at the Evening Standard, Robert Fox. Good morning, Robert. Is he right?
Well, I don't know, but he's being rather generous with the timeline, as quoted in the Telegraph. Rob Bauer, very senior position, chairman of the military committee at NATO, says we've got 20 years. Grant Shapps, on Monday, announcing the biggest contribution of British forces to a major NATO exercise this spring, said he thought we were lucky if we've got 5 years. And this is certainly what the Baltic countries, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, are warning us, because they say after Ukraine, where Russia is on a roll again, it's going to be us, and we're all going to be involved. It's going to be a big year for NATO and the alliance. And going back to your previous stories, I think it's going to be very difficult for Labour, Conservative, and the SNP, who are vulnerable on this, to keep defence and security abroad, but above all at home, out of the election campaign.
I mean, heck, what you say is hugely worrying, Robert. I mean, is it sort of a done deal? I mean, presumably that's why we're in Ukraine, though, isn't it? Or sort of in Ukraine, that we're doing the best we can to prevent Russia getting any sort of stronghold and wanting to progress further.
I like the sort of, because I think that's the operative expression, in that there's not been an overall coherent plan for the support of Ukraine, which has to be as much economic, civil, and in terms of development, as well as military. And I'm afraid that the American contribution to this, which has been generous in money terms and in terms of military materiel, will come under scrutiny because it has been incoherent. What has been happening is there's a bit of a drumbeat now, because it's not just Rear Admiral Rob Bauer, but it's a lot of other interesting people in interesting places. The Estonians, very closely allied to the British, have said, look, this is real, and you've got to get real about it. And I think the military chiefs privately are saying quietly to the both front benches in this country, actually, you've got to prepare British defences and how we're going to support our defences and our armed forces for this. And we're not asking for stacks more money, far from it. Actually, several of them have been saying to me privately, provided we get it organised, we can do it with what we've got. One thing that they're trying to warn against is don't consider defence cuts, either if you're Mr. Jeremy Hunt or if you're Sir Keir Starmer. The other thing which is running in the background is, of course, is what does a Trump presidency? If Trump returns to the White House, what does that mean for Russia? And it looks as if Putin is going to take that opportunity to go further forward with his plan for making Russia great again, which is making Russia an empire which comes into Europe. And this is what is worrying people so much.
OK. Look, Robert, as always, it's good to get your perspective.
Yes,
Thank you.
Indeed.